Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. Smash that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
You can find us, Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everyone's favorite TikTok. Check us out, some good videos on there. And don't forget to check us out on Reddit.
We're here to talk about CFL. This is week two. Of course, we're going to talk about our Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and we're going to talk about some pressing questions that each team is looking going into week two. And then we're going to look at some predictions in the matchup. So let's start off Winnipeg Blue Bombers versus the Riders in Saskatchewan. Bombers have had some pretty good luck in Mosaic Stadium. Position by position, head to head, who do you got in the QB matchup?
Gotta take Zach Laros, no question there. Just watching Trevor Harris last week wasn't very good at all. Under 200 yards, couple interceptions. So Laros to me had a pretty clean game besides the one fumble that got taken back. So I gotta take Laros easily in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Zach Caleros. Who knows who's going to be in this game? Fine might actually take some snaps. We'll talk about that matchup in the predictions, I guess, coming up. But just too much familiarity with this playbook, too much familiarity with the O-line and his receivers, while whichever quarterback, Harris or Fine, is still trying to figure out the team and get comfortable with it. So big time, Zach Caleros in this QB matchup. Running backs, I'm going to go, I think Oliveira has the slight advantage here, a very slight one. Morrow, I think maybe head to head is a better running back, but the situations that they're in, I think Oliveira has the opportunity to shine against Saskatchewan. So I'm going to go Oliveira in the running back matchup.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree on that. And like you say, it's a close battle. Whereas Oliveira, the O line last week was pretty good for Oliveira for the Bombers, opening up holes, making those blocks, like we said, even Stanley and Brian getting downfield. You know, Morrow had a pretty good game, but a lot of it came late in that game against Edmonton. So Saskatchewan O-line and that whole offense is kind of still waiting to get together and gel. So I'm going to take Oliveira in this matchup.
Who are you taking in the receivers matchup?
Yeah, no question. I'm taking Winnipeg again in the receiver matchup here. Darrell Walker didn't practice. I didn't end up checking today if he practiced. I don't think he did either. So that's a big hit to them because after that, who's left there? Jake Winneke, Juwan Brescian. There's not a lot of star power there compared to what the Bombers have. So again, Dalton Schoen may be out too, but yeah, I'm still going to take Winnipeg in this one.
Yeah, I think Bombers definitely have the advantage. Like you mentioned, Darrell Walker is out. They're missing Schaefer Baker, who was a great Canadian receiver. They still, no disrespect to Juwan Briscane. Mario Alfred's a great receiver, a great weapon, and Jake Weineke. That's still a good three receivers that you have going on there, but they don't have the chemistry that Caleros has with his receivers. So as of right now, I'm going to go with the Bombers. Yeah, better chemistry.
That's one of the things the Bombers need to take advantage of early in the season. A lot of teams they got a lot of new guys where the Bombers have everyone back, right? Take advantage of teams right off the bat and get those early season wins because these teams they're all going to get better. Well, I can't say all of them, but a lot of them are going to get better, right?
Oh yeah, the gap will narrow as the season goes on. How about O-line? Go ahead.
Again, you might be thinking we're homers here, but I'm going to have to go O-line again for the Bombers. Even though Saskatchewan's O-line only gave up a couple sacks last week against Edmonton, again, we're waiting to see what kind of Saskatchewan team this is, and we'll find out Friday a bit more. But yeah, Bombers O-line for me, and they played a great last game.
Yeah, it's a lot of change when you lose your 9-10-year vet and Dan Clark as a center. So you have change there. They have a great center that they got from BC. So I'm not saying that the talent is going to drop, but just in regards to calling out the shots, the center was a good leader in that. And I think they lost Philip Blake, the Canadian tackle that they signed. So that puts them in even worse position. And we saw the Bombers kind of gelling as the game went on, and that running game started to develop as the game went on. So I'm going to take O-line for the Bombers in that matchup. D-line, I'm going to go with the Roughriders, especially if Jackson Jeffcoat is not good to go. I think it's a calf injury. So it might be one of those situations where you do have to let him rest. It's early in the season. The defense probably could survive without him, but they are better with him. But Saskatchewan has a lot of talent across the line. They've got 5 sacks up, and I think it was across each individual lineman. They have Lanier, Pete Robertson's ready to go. They wreak havoc all the time. And they have Micah Johnson, who's good as well. And I like the name DeMarcus Christmas. So I'm going to say Saskatchewan has the advantage in this one.
Yeah, with Jeffco out or possibly not playing, yeah, I got to lean that same way with Saskatchewan. This is a time for these guys, Celestin Haba and Anthony Bennett, to kind of step up and show what they can do if Jeffco is out and fill in that kind of void. But for me in this game, it's going to be the D line of Saskatchewan, even though Willie Jefferson is so good.
Yeah, I know. You had to take the linebackers. Who you got?
I'm going to go back to Winnipeg on this one, just with Adam Big Hill. I know Saskatchewan's got Larry Dean in there, but the other couple guys, I was kind of trying to figure out who they were exactly. I will take Big Hill with Darby. And is it Millie Clemens is playing on the other side?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take them a little bit again, just because more familiarity with the defense going in right now.
Yeah, Larry Dean and Adam Bighill, they're very even. Not in regards to total quality. I think Adam Bighill is a much better linebacker, but I think they both hold the middle very well, especially with Larry Dean going back into the middle after they lost what's his name? Sankey to the USFL? XFL?
Maybe XFL, because he
One
couldn't
of the
sign back,
leagues. So they do have a talented Canadian linebacker in Micah Tights, but I'd still take Darby over him at this point, and they have a young guy at CJ Revis that I'll still take Malik Clements over him. So I'm going to go Bombers in the linebacker department. Defensive backs. Sorry, Saskatchewan fans. I'm just going off truths and what's going on right now, but I'm going to go with the Bombers' experience and proven ball hawking. You know, it was good to see a Canadian safety. What's his name? Jaden Dow. He got a pick, but I'm still taking Brandon Alexander in that safety matchup. So Bombers secondary for me.
Yeah, I'll agree there too. I like Nick Marshall and Roland Milligan in that DB group for Saskatchewan, but the other side to me is probably a little bit weaker. So I can see the Bombers maybe picking on that side. So I'll have to agree again with the Bombers DBs. I'll take Brandon Alexander over most guys in this league too. So
yeah. Nick Marshall, I think, was on the injury report as well.
Really? I didn't notice that today.
So that might not be good.
Okay.
I could be wrong. There were a few names on there. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Better now than later. And special teams. Who are you going to go with in special teams?
I mean, you can go different ways here. Winnipeg kicker, I would take him. Punter is probably a toss-up. I would take Alfred as a returner. So overall, I'm going to give it to Saskatchewan just with Alfred. A little bit dangerous back there. I know Brent Lawther has not played very well at all, but I like Alfred back there. He's dangerous. And after watching the Bombers special teams last week, he could be a big factor in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, Lawther didn't look too good, but between him and Castillo, they have very comparable stats career-wise. So I think that's almost a draw. And yeah, we're just waiting for Janarian Grant to see if he'll explode and go nuts. And if not, like you said, Alfred can be a huge advantage. This one, I am going to give Saskatchewan the slight advantage. Bomber fans, Saskatchewan fans, please share your comments down below. Be respectful, show some love. I know we have a rivalry, but goodness gracious, let's have some fun with this. It's only week 2. And I just want to say, I don't like this being a week 2 matchup. Labor Day has always got to be the first time these teams meet in the year. I don't know why I'm pointing like this, but that's why it has to happen like that. It has to. It's ridiculous they're playing so early.
Yeah, it should be. It should always be Labor Day first, manageable. And if there's enough time, get a third one in there. But
yeah,
not this
have
early.
them later in the season. For if that when it means something.
Last week of the season, even right, battling for a playoff spot, whatever. But
yeah, like it'll probably be a good crowd in Saskatchewan.
Oh yeah,
you're blowing your load in week 2. Come on, slow down. Pressing questions for each team going into week 2. We're gonna go back and forth, west to east, coast to coast. We'll meet in the middle. That's what no. Let's go for the BC Lions. Can Vernon Adams take a step forward and play a game without the Vernon Adams tendency? That's the question I think that the BC Lions will face. We saw some good VA and we saw some bad VA, and that's the issue with VA. Whether he can keep that consistently going, because he has a talent, without a doubt. He has the arm for the CFL. He can see things, but there's always those mistakes where you're like, oh, there's VA when unfortunately we would like not to. So can he take that next step forward and get rid of those VA tendencies?
I think you're always going to have that with VA. He's always going to be up and down. He could play a stellar game one game, and then the next game he'll just shit the bed kind of thing. So it'll be like that. So
he's playing Edmonton, so maybe this is one of those good games before he shites the bite.
Exactly. I'm going to go into Hamilton here, and my question's kind of two-part question a little bit here. Can they gel a little bit more, and can Bo Levi perform? After watching them last week, they kind of came together in that second half. I don't know if that was more Bombers or Hamilton playing well, but Bo Levi missed a lot out there. So we'll see if he can pick it up and play a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think they can. Like, it'll take them a bit. There's a lot of new pieces there, especially for Bo Levi Mitchell. So I think they can, but it didn't look too encouraging last week.
No,
The
no.
offensive side of the ball, at least. The offensive side of the ball. Edmonton. Does Chris Jones know what he's doing? They can't win at home. They run it back with Tyler Cornelius, and they were invisible in the QB market. And they unsurprisingly can't execute a goal line play to pretty much win the game. They went with a ton of rookies, like double-digit roster change of starters. Uh, do you think he knows what he's doing?
I'm starting to question that as well, and I'm starting to think no as well. Like you say, the QB position, it was a big question mark. Cornelius looked bad. Ford didn't even get an opportunity in that. So if you didn't trust Ford at all, why would you not go after someone, one of these backups that had some what do we call it, experience in the league, right? So yeah, I'm starting to question him as well. For me, Ottawa, can that offense get on track with Jeremiah Mazzoli without Jeremiah Mazzoli? Like I said last week or a couple days ago, I'm done with Nick Arbuckle, but sounds like he's going to get the start again. That offense, I think, is going to struggle until Mazzoli comes back.
Yeah, they absolutely need Mazzoli. They need Mazzoli. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Calgary, is Jake Meyer better than what he showed? Sure, I guess he can be better than what he showed. That was a complete disaster. But it's got to be disconcerting for Dave Dickinson that your incumbent, that someone familiar with this system and the roster, really looked horrible in week one. Like the expectations must have been so much higher, even though it didn't show in the attendance. I think he's better than what he showed, but I don't think by much.
Well, he showed early in the season and even coming in relief in the other seasons for Bo Levi that he could actually play in the league. I mean, there was a reason why he ended up taking the starter's job last year because he actually showed he could play well. What happens? I don't know. Like his confidence seems like it's done because even last week when you watched him after a bad play, his shoulders were slumped and he was just down. He looked like he was out of it. So I think he can play better. Will he get there? That's the question I'm not too sure about.
Have we gone through all the teams in the East?
No, we've got one more. We got the Grey Cup champions.
Oh yeah, I can't forget about them.
Toronto Argonauts is Chad Kelly ready. We've been waiting to see. He had a great showing in that Grey Cup when he came in, but we haven't seen him take a team and lead a team yet in his career. So we'll see. Is he ready?
I think the whole CFL is watching to see if he's ready. Because if he can be the next one, he could. Because the CFL is kind of lacking in quarterback skill, like we talked about last episode. Yeah. The offensive, there's not too many offensive gurus out there right now, but the level of quarterback play is kind of. So it'd be nice to see him flourish. Not against Winnipeg, but it'd be nice.
Every other time.
Saskatchewan, is Trevor Harris going to play? I think I think you kind of know my thoughts with the injury like this, with a hip injury and behind an O line like that against a defensive line like Winnipeg's. You shouldn't play him. Play Mason Fine. We know Craig Dickinson makes these horrible the decisions he makes boggles the mind. Why do you have this guy out at the end of the game running around wasting time?
Yeah,
like
it's Dickinson, man.
Exactly, textbook sometimes. So is he going to play? He might play because we've seen Dickinson make questionable calls. I don't think he should, but he might.
Yeah, he definitely could, and probably not a good idea. It depends on the injury, right? I mean, they're not obviously giving us a ton of information. I think they said it was a hip pointer. So you don't want to end up getting hit there at all in the game and make things worse and miss 5 weeks instead of maybe 1 week. So I agree, it's still early in the season. If he's that hurt, let him sit out.
Because this D line is going to terrorize him.
Yeah,
unless a miracle happens.
Yeah, like we talked about their O line already missing guys, and Harris is not mobile anymore. So
yeah, not like he was crazy mobile, but he was able to move in the pocket and find a way, but not like that. And of course, with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Ken Gennari and Grattan return game find the explosiveness. We kind of talked about this earlier. Not that they looked horrible, but they didn't look sharp either. The kicking game looked okay. The punting game with Sheehan looked pretty solid, and it's not that Grant played badly. I think he had a longer kickoff return than Woods did, and his average was longer than Woods, surprisingly. But we just never felt that there was a chance for that to explode and break one, and get a big return. And also the blocking lanes that didn't seem were there. So, Conjuring Grant and the return game returned to being explosive.
I think so. Janarian Grant's kind of one of those bounce back kind of guys. When he does something bad or has a bad game, like reading an article today, he was beating himself up about the fumble. So he usually likes to respond. So I think we're actually going to see, I'm going to call it. I'm going to give him a kick return touchdown this game. I think we'll see it out of him.
Oh, that's exciting. I can't wait to play that clip and show the return at the same time. Guaranteed return TD. Friends, CFL fans, put your comments below. Answer the questions. What are your own questions for the CFL and their teams, or your team, going into week 2? Let's go quick and dirty predictions for the week 2 matchups. Calgary at Ottawa. Who do you got for Thursday Night Football?
I'm going to give the slight edge to Calgary here. I think Jake Meyer will be a little bit better than last week, although Ottawa's D looked really good. But I'm going to give the edge to Calgary.
Yeah, I think the Calgary offense will still struggle. I think the Ottawa defense will be too much. And I think Arbuckle will do enough to get Ottawa the win at home and break their little streak. I think they're like on a 12, 13, 14 game losing streak at home.
One too. Yeah.
So I think Ottawa breaks the streak against Calgary, surprisingly. This might be the, oh my goodness, things are pretty bad in Calgary, that wakes them up. But I don't think they'll come out of Ottawa with the win. Friday Night Football, Winnipeg at Saskatchewan. I got the Bombers to win. It's just, and it might actually get ugly in Mosaic. Saskatchewan is just not ready. Too much change, and the O-line is not that good.
Yeah, exactly. I'll pick Winnipeg in this one. Who knows later in the season on Labor Day, but right now I think Winnipeg's just way ahead of Saskatchewan.
Absolutely. Who do you got in the Elks at Lions?
I'm going to have to take BC in that one. That BC, like you said, Vernon Adams played good enough. BC D looked really good last week. And they're going to come after Cornelius, who got sacked, 5 times by Saskatchewan. So I'm going to go with BC.
Yeah, this could be ugly. So I'm also going to go with BC on LL Cool J night. And of course, we got the Grey Cup champs in Toronto hosting their rivals from Hamilton, the Tiger Cats. Who do you got in that matchup?
I'm going to take Toronto in this one. Yeah, Hamilton looks slightly better in the second half. You know, again, is that more Bombers than anything? But Toronto's got a tough D. I don't see Bo Levi getting on track this week enough to beat Toronto.
Yeah. I got Bo Levi Mitchell will be better. They've played against Live Bullets. This is Toronto's first time against Live Bullets, a starting roster. I think Argos are going to have a little bit of a hangover. They just got their beautiful rings at some mansion party outdoors, celebrating their Grey Cup win. They got a banner. Everyone's going to be excited. So I think Hamilton is going to go into Toronto at BMO Field, or whatever it's called now, and take the win. Hamilton wins. CFL fans, put your predictions below and subscribe and leave ratings and reviews. Benny, do you have anything to say to our friends?
Nope, you said it, a lot of it. Go Bombers. Let's hope for a good weekend of CFL action. Have a good one.
And steal the words of LeVar Burton. We'll see you next time. I love the CFL. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.